Kickstarter project or Indiegogo. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I've learned from marketing startups and how it can hopefully apply to your Kickstarter projects. A little bit about me: I moved to Israel 2 years ago. I was on the marketing team at Wibia, and right now I'm on the Google Ventures team, so VC firm in Ramat Gan, and working on a map called Map in Israel. And I also write for different blogs like Business Insider and TechCrunch. And if you have any questions, you can tweet me at BenLN during the presentation. So basically, since I've never done an actual Kickstarter project, most of this presentation is from someone, like ideas that I've gotten from someone else. If you've never heard of him, this is Tim Ferris, an awesome author who wrote the 4-Hour Workweek and a bunch of other books that have been top sellers. And he had a guest post on his blog a few months ago called Hacking Kickstarter: How to Raise $100,000 in 10 Days. And it includes successful emails, successful templates and emails. So this is where most ideas from this presentation come from, and I definitely recommend for you to read it. This is the link, and I'll post it later, or just Google Hacking Kickstarter and make sure to read it. He posted this guest post on his blog by the name from this guy named Mike Del Ponte, who had this project called Soma, which was a Kickstarter project. It was basically a very innovative water filter. They raised $100,000, and what they did very, very well was the marketing for it. And he shares on this blog, in this blog post, exactly what he did. So first off, really interesting, what he checked out before launching his Soma project was what the top referrers for Kickstarter projects are. So with a little research, he found out that Facebook, direct traffic from email, Twitter, internal traffic from Kickstarter, and blogs are the 5 things that send the most traffic to Kickstarter projects. So if you want to focus on 5 things, it's these things, nothing else. And you want to break them down. So first off, blogs. When you're working on getting blog posts about your Kickstarter project, there are a few things you want to think about. First off, relevance. If you're working on something that has to do with water, you don't want the next web writing about it because it's not going to be that effective. You want something very specific to your project. Also, readership. You want to check that it's a big blog. You don't want to spend too much time wasting on really small blogs that have a few hundred readers that aren't going to actually send you any backers. Also, relationships. It's important to check out if you have any connections between the authors of the blogs, or if you have any friends of friends who know the bloggers, so you don't just reach out to them without a personal connection. And also reach. You can check out how big the blog's Facebook page is, how many newsletter subscribers they have, how many Twitter followers they have. It's also very important to see if you can get in there. So after that, one thing that's really important is to do some research. You want to find 10 Kickstarter projects that are similar to yours, and make a list of all the press, the tweets, the mentions that they've gotten, and use them as inspiration for where you want to get your project. And it's important to check, to find some projects that are similar to yours and not something that's completely unrelated, so you can hopefully target the same bloggers or target the same influencers and use them to help you out. So once you have that list, and you have a list of bloggers you want to reach out, here's some tips for reaching out to them. So first off, you need to find the most relevant writer on the blog. Then you can find their email using Reportive, which is a tool I'm going to explain after. And then once you're emailing them, you have to make sure to send them a very short email, with some value. Maybe you want to provide them like their own product for free, or you want to give away something on their blog. You have to provide some value that's going to interest the blogger. And then also afterwards, it's important to follow up using Reportive, which again I'll explain right after. So here's an example of something that this is the way I email bloggers. I usually email them 2 sentences. And if I was working on a Kickstarter project, this is how my email would look like, and it would just have a link to the Kickstarter project or the landing page. And I would make sure to keep it short. All I wrote here was, "Hey Melanie, just launched this fun project of mine, notificationcontrol.com. Thought it might fit right into Lifehacker. Hope you enjoy it." So it's important to keep the emails that short when you're emailing different bloggers. And this is the article they wrote about it afterwards. And this is another email I sent to different bloggers, also 2 sentences. And one thing that he responded was, he wrote, "This is nice, I'll hit this if I get a minute. Thanks for the concise email and useful site." And you can see how much he appreciates that it was a concise email, because most people don't do that. They send a PDF and they
Can you
send
read it?
like 10 paragraphs.
Read your email. What did you write him?
I wrote, "Hey Stephen Ellis, just launched this fun project of mine. Thought it might fit right into Business Insider. Hope you enjoy it." And I don't know these people. I just emailed them. I found their email, and he responded within like an hour. It's showing how much he appreciated the short email. So if you do that also, it might work out. And this is the article he wrote afterwards. And here's another email that I sent, also 2 or 3 sentences to Lifehacker. So the way to find people's emails for bloggers is to use a tool called Reportive. Reportive is a plugin for Gmail. It lets you find anyone's email in the world pretty much, and also lets you find their social networks. It lets you connect with them on Facebook and Twitter very easily. So this is what it looks like, Reportive. You can see at the left side, that's what's going to show up in your Gmail. You see their Twitter profile, their Facebook, LinkedIn, Skype, Crunchbase, their bio, profile picture. And let me explain exactly how it works. Over here, when you enter an email in your Gmail, when you click on it, on the right side, you're going to see something show up. If nothing shows up, it means it's not their email, because it's not connected to any social network. So you can see here, I tried this guy at gizmodo.com, which is a pretty big blog. I tried to find Sam. And I put in sam.biddle@gizmodo.com, I clicked on it, and nothing showed up. There was a question mark, so it's not his email. But then I tried sam@gizmodo.com, and his Twitter showed up, and his cloud showed up, and his Facebook showed up. And I clicked on them and I checked them out, and I realized that was the blogger. And I emailed him, and I sent him a very short email, and I convinced him to write an article about something I was working on. So you can use this pretty much the same tactic for your own project. Now afterwards, it's really important when you're talking to these bloggers to ask them if they can post their article that they wrote about you in their newsletter, or on their Facebook page, or Twitter feed, or any other channel that they might use, Pinterest or Google+, because they have huge audiences, and sometimes they just forget to post in those places. And it doesn't hurt to ask. They're usually happy to do it, and you just have to make sure to ask them, and it could give you a huge boost when you're talking to them. So another idea that Mike came up with from Soma was to go to your Gmail and export all your contacts and organize them into 3 groups. 1, influencers, people who you're trying to target, who you don't really know, who might have a very high clout, like Robert Scoble or someone very influential in America or anywhere around the world. Oh, sorry. And you want to make a list of them, and then you want to separate them from your friends who know what you're doing and who you want to keep them updated, and your acquaintances, who are people you don't really keep in touch with. If you have 1,500 contacts, chances are 1,400 of them are acquaintances, 50 of them are influencers, and maybe 100 of them are in the know friends. And then once you have this list, you can create different email campaigns to send to all of them. So what Mike did was he used a tool called MailChimp, and he created these 3 lists, put them in MailChimp, and he sent a different email to each one. And for the influencers, he sent a custom email to everyone. He sent a very personal email so that he was sure that people would be more interested in responding. Acquaintances, he sent out a blast to 1,200 people that he never met, asking them to help out, spread the word. He also, in the blog post, he shared the exact email that he sent to them. And then when it comes to your friends, another really good idea that he came up with is to, first off, create a Facebook group to keep them engaged, maybe host a party to make them feel like they're part of the team, and share the information for everyone else. If you do all this, people are going to feel like they're a part of your team, like they're really a part of this project, and they're going to be much more willing to spread the word and convince their friends to join, and it could be really, really beneficial. So, landing page. It's really important not to rely just on a Kickstarter page, but also have your own landing page, a very simple one that you could share on Facebook. So what Soma did was, this is the landing page they made. Their whole thesis was that Kickstarter pages are too complicated, you get to them, you don't understand if you're supposed to watch the video, or back the project, or share it. So they made this page, and they asked 3 things: to share it on Facebook, to post it on Twitter, and to watch their video. And that way you knew exactly what you had to do. And they had a little bar that went up 33% every time you did one of these 3 things, which you can see is much simpler than a Kickstarter page. And they got amazing results from that. So this would be a really good idea to have your own, support your project with 3 clicks. Another really interesting landing page that they made was this page. What they did was they took their video, they posted the YouTube video and they took a bunch of articles that were written about them, like on Fast Company, Good, Gear Patrol, and they put a like button for each of the articles so that people would arrive on this landing page and then they would share the articles for them. So they would build some more buzz, because articles sometimes, different blogs, they don't do as well, and you need to give them a boost. So through this, they got, you can see 6,000 likes on their Facebook, on the Fast Company article, which got a huge boost. It got them featured on like the homepage of Fast Company, and that probably sent an amazing amount of backers. So this is a really, really good idea what they did here.
What is the name of that platform?
This is just a landing page that they made. It was just an idea that they came up with. You can probably use the same idea. So also some really good tools to use. Zirtual is something for hiring virtual assistants. For example, if you want to do research about other projects and don't have time to research another 10 projects, you can hire a virtual assistant. This is what Mike did from Soma, and he got them to do almost all the work for him, and it proved to be very effective. Also, Boomerang is a really good extension for Chrome. What it does is it lets you schedule emails, and it's important, when you're emailing bloggers also, or influencers, to email them at the right time. So you want to email them at their nighttime, maybe not in the middle of the day, when they're being bombarded by emails. And this lets you schedule emails so that when you're asleep, you can be sending out emails. Also MailChimp, which is for sending out newsletters so you can blast your contacts. And another thing that's really amazing that they made was the people from Soma, they made this custom Kickstarter dashboard. You can see this is what it looks like. They pretty much took all the most important information that they were monitoring during their campaign, and they opened it. So if you just Google custom Kickstarter dashboard, you can use this for your own project. I thought it was pretty awesome that they did that. And that's it. And I really recommend reading the article. I can show you the link. I'll post the link right here actually. But just Google hacking Kickstarter, and you'll find it. And they have tons more tips. Very, very helpful. Anyone have any questions?